A quick market update. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky. For those that do not know, tomorrow we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report, and based off of what is expected, a 58.2 versus the previous of 58.2. This is going to be released 30 minutes after the market opens. So if you tune on into our live trading session with the LPP team, we will be watching and looking out for this Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report. Comes in lower than what is expected, expect markets to drop just a little bit. It's not a super important or influential report. If it comes in a little bit better than what is expected, markets can push up even higher. But remember, markets are currently more bullish than they are bearish, as they've been begging and ready for the Federal Reserve to start cutting rates. With that being said, today, a quick little recap. We had overall CPI come in higher than last month from 2.7 to now 2.9. This is the fourth consecutive month in a row. For those that did not know this, we could see that we've jumped from April to May, May to June, June to July was the same, but then July to August was an increase once again. So again, 4 increases in the past 5 months, putting us back to the highest level that we've been at since the start of 2025. So it's going to be very interesting to see as tariffs continue to get implemented and the Federal Reserve begins to cut rates, as cutting rates is inflationary, to see how this impacts the CPI data reports. But remember, this is a lagging indicator. These reports take time to come out. The month has to complete itself, and then it gets reported. So we don't expect any of the interest rate cuts or the tariffs to actually be factored into these reports until months from now. With that being said, after today's CPI report, because again, overall CPI did see a jump and doesn't support as of an aggressive rate cut, this is why you saw a little bit of a shift on the expectation based off of the Fed rate monitor tool. At one point, there was like a 90% probability for a 25 basis point rate cut and a 10% probability for a 50 basis point rate cut, a larger rate cut. But after the CPI report came out, it went back to 96, almost 97% for 25, because inflation being higher is not going to really motivate the Federal Reserve to start cutting rates aggressively. They're still cutting rates. That's the current expectation next week, September 17th. It's just most likely not going to be as aggressive as expected. With that being said, one of the trades that I took today was TEM, just so you guys could see. I made $4,100. I closed out my trade, leaving myself with my one lucky share. I think that this stock is an absolute BS company. It's overbought, overhyped up. Yes, it has good price momentum, but just like we've seen it in the past before, just as quick as it runs up, it always comes crashing down. Please do not short this if you are a beginner. I don't care for any beginners to be motivated to short this. Just be aware of the risk if you're choosing to hold at these elevated levels. There's a difference between a trade and an investment, and in my opinion, TEM only makes sense as a trade, not as an investment. The other trade that I ended up taking today, like we talked about earlier, was PLTR. I made $1,200 and then didn't touch it after that. I closed out my trade fully. This thing really just consolidated down here. Overall, NASDAQ market did end up retesting previous highs, but it's pretty much been pretty stagnant up here. It's going to be very interesting to see how things continue to develop with what is currently expected. Next week is the FOMC rate decision. Tomorrow we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report, which again is influential, but not so much. The big focus, in my opinion, are going to be tariffs and this up and coming FOMC rate decision. Just remember that, again, you don't have to put yourself in a super aggressive position at these elevated levels if you don't want that kind of exposure. Don't put yourself in a position in which you simply cannot tolerate. Be mindful of that position size and be mindful of your risk to reward. In my opinion, I believe markets are overbought. In my opinion, I believe markets have been struggling to make new highs. They're still bullish, but they have not made aggressive new highs because they're already so overbought. So I'm excited to see if this is a buy the rumors, sell the news. Market's been going up in anticipation of this rate cut. So we'll see once this rate cut gets announced if markets continue to push to new highs or if it's the buy the rumors, sell the news, and markets begin to dump. I'm not here to pretend like we can predict the future. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I'm just excited to do my part in keeping you guys up to date. And again, if you want to watch me trade live tomorrow with the LPP team, you can do it for as little as $1.35 a day is what it breaks down to. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access. Second link in the description down below. And we'll see you tomorrow at Market Open for our live session. Take care, team.